But all these other dimensions that we start opening up to, these are other vectors, other Kundalini currents that are coming from other time-space locations that we can have access to. Your DNA knows this process. We don't have to read a book to do this. We've just entered the 1111 portal. This is one of the biggest Ascension activations of the year. The language of the universe is numbers, frequency, geometries. So this is why these certain time periods open up the geometry pattern within our own DNA template and allow us to move into a whole new paradigm, which is, of course, right now we have the eclipse portal going on as well. So this will phase out over the next couple weeks, but all of these energies are, we're never just in something and then they're gone. It's always a new layer opening up and then a new layer opening up. So these energies are never gone. So if you're watching this at a later date, no problem. Now, I brought you here to the spot because 5 years ago, on November 11th, the 1111 portal in 2017 was one of my biggest DNA light body activations of my life. So I'll tell you about that story a bit at the end of the video, so you want to stay tuned. But I want to talk quickly about what this all means for you. In 2007, it actually started for me seeing 1111. So a lot of you are probably seeing that. What does that code mean? I have a video, check that out. Are you seeing 1111 for a lot more? But I want to talk quickly about that. So knowing that we are in the 1111 portal, what this is an activation moving you into the center point. So we think of these ones as Kundalini currents. So this is like a channel of energy. So the 1111 is actually pushing you from all directions, north, south, east, and west, into the center point of yourself. So you can't ascend without moving into the center of the creation. So the 1111 is the unification, the beginning of the unifying of the polarity. So when you start seeing 1111, that's usually the beginning of your ascension journey. So comment below if that was one of the first indications of you and your life changing. I know for me that was huge in 2007. I had no idea what it was. I was kind of freaked out because it was happening constantly. And then, of course, 10 years later in 2017, being the biggest DNA activation of my life, which again, I'll talk quickly about that more at the end of the video. But every time that we move inward and we unify different parts of ourselves, know that that is the Christ consciousness, the cosmic consciousness. That's the unifying force. Chaos is the opposite of that. That's the fractaling out of your consciousness into many different segments, which really the whole point of existing right now is we are unifying every aspect of ourself that is fractaled out in the multiverse. You are healing all the karma and the trauma from infinite past lives. So you can merge them all into you and elevate every one of those aspects into a higher consciousness. So we're the ones doing it on the ground. Other beings, right, the galactics, the angels, they can't do that for you. We are actually bringing those dimensions into our field, which is why we're having a blend of reality going on right now. There's a lot going on, and the ups and downs, know that that is normal. Usually when you go into extreme duality, right, where you've been doing the work, you feel like you have been making those efforts, you've been doing your clearing, your healing, and all of a sudden things get really bad, typically as you're on that breaking point to break through. And that's because literally the energies of unification, as we're unwinding one of these trauma knots. So again, I talked about this many times on my channel. That's really what happens when you become the avatar consciousness, is your energy becomes a complete unifying energy for everything you come in contact with. So your light body isn't just some pretty colors and some sparkles of light. It is Kundalini channels of energy. This is like you being multiple stars. The power moving through your circuitry system as you connect to higher and higher levels of the neurosystem, or of the nervous system of the entire multiverse. You have no idea until it starts happening the amount of power going through your body. So the light body isn't just some pretty colors, like I said. It is massive channels of energy that you have to unify. So for me, for example, the last 10 days, 2 weeks, really before the eclipse, things were getting really dense. I could feel a lot of polarized energy. So really felt like I had full holes in my field. So for me, I like being a pillar of light. That's the unifying Hara line, the cosmic Christ consciousness running through the vertical channel. When you have separation, you will literally feel like there is a force pushing out a certain area of your light body, and you will feel like really what feels like a gaping hole of these forces that are pushed in extremes. So this could be going on what seems like to the far right through the galaxy, right through the universe. So this polarization that is really something coming undone, because it really is like when you have a big knot in your shoelace. Things have to get extreme before they can then be cleared, right? That's kind of how we undo a knot, right? Those two laces have to kind of separate to then be able to undo that knot, to then move into the center point, right? Because you are the entire creation. Most of us just act with our entire attention out here, always out here on the outside world. So during the 1111 portal right now going on, there is a huge unifying force of all of these fractaled out parts of your consciousness. And this is how we heal trauma. This is how we start up leveling big time. This is the DNA activation. Because when we activate certain codes, these are literally Kundalini channels or geometry patterns that your DNA can take on. So what we see as the physical is just the surface. Our DNA is actually vertical scalar waves that actually move. Well, they don't move, they actually are flash on and off. But they give us this waterfall of our consciousness that's fractaled out from source and step down through many different dimensional bandwidths. This is how we get denser and denser. We can't just put source in a body. It'll blow it up, right? So we have to step down our consciousness, but we leave a piece of our consciousness at all these different time-space locations, because nothing actually exists the way we think it is. We're not physical. I'm not here, and neither are you. We are a nervous system that is experiencing consciousness. And the fact that source fractals itself out, not fractals, let's say separates itself into smaller and smaller pieces, gives us the ability to experience a reality. But everything out there and everyone is you. We're just experiencing different perceptions. So when you live in that separation, and you live separate from your soul mission, separate from your potential, separate from your life force, when you can unify all aspects of yourself, by not only locating them, where are they? Everything's happening in this space. So even though we see space out there, that is just the 3D reality, or the 3D perception of what these things are. But actually, dimensions can only be perceived when we get our frequency up enough, where the actual particles of our existence have enough energy that they start spinning faster and they can change their alignment where they are aligned, right? Because of course we want to be aligned in the vertical, but all these other dimensions that we start opening up to, these are other vectors, other Kundalini currents that are coming from other time-space locations that we can have access to. Your DNA knows this process. We don't have to read a book to do this. We have to do our internal work, because what we do is when we activate ourselves, our DNA, all the aspects of our multiverse, all the galactics, the angels, the power animals, the infinite numbers of past lives you've had, they're all happening simultaneously. You're everywhere all at once. So when we're able to not only locate them, but bring them in and merge with them, that's the unification process. That is the cosmic Christ. The whole point of Ascension is to unify everything into the unified field. So the last 10 days or so there was some hardcore stuff going down. So I'm not to get into too much of the grid work that I've been doing, but it got very dark about 2 weeks ago. We were obviously indigos and grid workers, gatekeepers, were clearing out a lot of darker stuff that is really just twisted off consciousness that is now finite. So it acts as a parasitic energy. It acts as this wound or trauma. It acts as like a monster. Or can, right? There's all different types of consciousness that is skewed off and separated and moving out of alignment from its own life force that it should be able to bring in from source, but it gets disconnected from source. So you can watch my video, Billion-Year-Old Evil, for a lot more on all that. But we were locating, because of course we can't run from the darkness. We need to, when we experience darkness, or when we want to heal darkness, we need to zone right into that, uncover it, merge with it. And that's merging with our shadow. We are half light and half dark. We need to realize that that's just the forces of the universe when we live in a polarized reality. But the higher energies, when we get up to the 12th strand of DNA, the avatar consciousness, the Christ consciousness, that is a completely different, non-polarized unity consciousness. This is literally you becoming the unified field, which happened to me in 2017, which I'll talk about later. But yeah, getting back to now the grid work, there was some, just deep, dark stuff coming up. And then it was interesting, I had this massive migraine on Friday. There was 1 million cords wrapped around my pineal gland. Something was obviously unraveling. Remember, the higher dimensions, all your higher chakras move through the center of the brain. So those glands in the center of the brain, the pineal, the pituitary, they're able to recode your experience. You will get way more than 5 senses. We will have 12 senses come on board. And actually, if you're an indigo, we have minimum 24 to 48 strand DNA, which is up to 48 different senses that you can have come online. This is, right, people like to call this the psychic senses. But it gets beyond that, because when we embody, these aren't just senses up here in the astral realm. They are, when we embody these things, they're all happening right now, and your entire physical reality recodes itself over many, many, many years and many DNA activations. And you become the unified field that unifies everything around you. You become a shape-shifting DMT breathing reality that never stops. And that's because you become the absolute co-creator, master of your universe, of your domain. So also with that is massive responsibility. So not everyone is going to get to this activation level, let's just say that, in this lifetime. If it's something that you have a desire, you have a dedication for, you absolutely will. It doesn't matter what your DNA is holding. So even if you have, so every human has minimum 12 strands, which I'll talk about that in the next video, Guardians of the Galaxy. So make sure you guys hit that bell and subscribe right now, because I'm going to be talking about some mind-blowing stuff in the next video. And I hope so far, like in the video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Okay, so the last week or so, so Friday I had this massive migraine, and I could just feel there was 1 million false timelines that were unraveling. Because timelines are really cords. They are closed loops that pull consciousness like a black hole, pulls it out of your center. And this consciousness can be pulled into a fallen system. And it also leaves you with holes where other dark things can come in, or other people's emotions can come into your field. So if you're feeling like you are so sticky, I was like this my whole life, or, you know, a super empath, you need to make sure you're doing your healing to seal yourself up. Because it's not about, you know, wrapping yourself and putting up boundaries and, you know, putting yourself into a bubble of light. When you become the whole universe, when you become the unified field, everything is you. Your field is 1,000,000 miles wide. It goes out all the way up into deep space and all the way, right? And so everything's happening right here. But that's just how large your field becomes because of the power that exists within yourself. It's no joke. Like I said, the light body is not some pretty colors. You know, at the beginning, it feels like that. But when you start having Kundalini come on board, come online, your DNA starts activating, you start activating these vectors where you have other aspects of you existing in some other time-space coordinate. Everything's happening right now. Everything's merging into this you, the singularity, the unified field. This is what Ascension is. So really it's happening to everyone. Most people are just so blocked that they don't really realize it, or they project what's happening onto the world, right? It's the world's problems, it's my husband's problems, or it's, you know, my wife's fault, or it's about owning our stuff, dealing with it, because it's all coming in. So know that the 1111 portal, this is going to be a huge time where we're going to realize even more at an accelerated pace that every reality field, every dimension is being squeezed into you. That means the astral plane. That means all these other realms with a lot of darker stuff. You know, I'll talk about that actually in a future video very soon as well. But last week, on that Friday, so I'm kind of over the place in this video, there was a huge wind and lightning storm. And for about 5 or 6 hours, this one area, so actually where I live, there is not only a mother arc Stargate, but there's also a reversal Michael Mary line, a reversal line as well in the ocean near me. So the mother arc Stargate is actually the connection to the Andromeda, our host galaxy. So it's really our Milky Way galaxy's twin, but we've been twisted off because we're in a fallen system. Again, if you want to know more, take my course Ascension Magic for all the details. But the mother arc, and again, there's other Stargates all over the world. So there's Stargates that are the 12 Stargates for our universal time spiral. We have the 12 parallel system, because the fact that you're here means that you have an antiparticle parallel twin. Again, take my course if you want to know more about that. We also have other Stargates that are really helping us during this ascension process, because the grids are so bad right now. They've really been bad since Atlantis. So there's so many reversals, there's so many frequency fences that don't allow us to plug in our DNA. Because these light codes, these activations, this light body activation is plugging in your DNA, where we don't have junk DNA at all. We have unplugged DNA, so it's all fractaled. But when you start unifying every aspect of yourself, which first begins with unifying your chakras and unifying your life. But what happens is your DNA automatically starts correcting itself. And it's all about you doing the inner work, right? Of course, a lot of people are waiting around for the Great Solar Flash Ascension event. We're in it, everybody. We're in the process now. It's not going to be one event. So for me, I already went through the inner solar flash. It's an inner solar flash that happens when you unify into the Christ stream and become the unified field. And so the light starts being birthed from every quantum particle of yourself. So you become beyond a crystalline body and you become plasma, which is a complete neutral element, right? So science says that plasma is the fourth for state of matter. Again, we probably have many states of matter, but they have actually recognized that plasma, which is, we can say solar energy, is that fourth state of matter. It's a unifying matter, which every single particleized energy of you is unified. And you can source out very quickly any polarization because it pulls on you. It will pull you and really create blockages. It can pull your attention out here. It can, right? So any polarization literally pulls you out of your center. And it becomes, so when you start activating the unified field, it is absolute mastery without a break. And I will just warn anybody, it's absolutely, it's mind-blowing magical as well at the same time because of the amount of power and influence you have on others, and right, the amount that you can really help to elevate the whole planet and everyone around you. Your field becomes a unifying field for others to also match that unification. So again, I'm all over the place in this video, I apologize. But getting back to now, there was this storm that literally sat over one of these stargates and just blasted it with the biggest lightning and the loudest thunder. It was like shaking my house. And this lightning storm did not move, even though it was like really windy, like 50, 60, 70 kilometer hour winds. But it was, this lightning just sat right out of this portal. And my guess is it was probably the Mother Arc portal. So we were clearing and clearing. And also allowing, right, because even if it was the Michael Mary line, which is actually a reversal grid, and there's quite a few places all around Canada, but also other areas, including the UK. So this energy gets siphoned off into the UK. This splitting, let's say, of the feminine and the masculine polarities. So that's what happens actually, these reversal grids that were implanted into our planet are mirrored in us, right? Everything that happens out there, we take on those same damage, or those same distortions in our own field. And we have to do the work. We're the ground crew. We do the healing for the planet by existing on the surface of a planet. So these reversal grids, and again, they've been implanted for thousands of years. They actually split apart the polarities of the feminine and masculine merge within us. So we can say that the inside of the spine, and as it moves all the way, right, our vertical channel, that is our neutral. That is how we merge our feminine and masculine aspects of self, right? Our right brain, left brain merge in the center. Our left side's actually the feminine because it crosses over, and our right side, which is the masculine, merging. So every single aspect of you, we have 33 vertebrae, that would be the 11 dimensions merged. And your 12 actually goes beyond. And that is, again, all from the video. But when we have one of these reversals, it literally can create, especially for me, since I am the unified field, I really feel this as my left side always trying to pull apart from the center core. And essentially it leaves this gap, this opening in my field, or this knot. So I feel it a lot around the heart. I feel it a lot around in the inside of my brain area, right in the left side of my kind of ear, the back of the head. So it tends to split apart the unification of our twins. And remember, twin flames is an inside job. We're not waiting for somebody out there to show up to save the day. Okay, so for a lot of people that are stuck in that trap, remember that you unify your own internal masculine and feminine aspects into center. Then you start becoming a unifying force for the collective, for everybody. You will literally pull to you your twin, or someone that acts as that catalyst for you. So know that you do the inner work. You automatically manifest to you that twin flame union in the outside. And we're not waiting for one person, because in fact, if you watch my video on twin flames, watch it if you haven't, it's very important. We have multiple twin flames. So every harmonic universe, so every state of matter we have a different twin flame. So you can have your twin flame that is just your incarnate twin flame. Then you can have your soul twin flame. Then you can have your oversoul twin flame. Then you can have your avatar twin flame. See what I mean? It goes on and on. We're not waiting for anybody. If you're waiting for someone out there or some event out there, then realize that there's so many traps that keep people waiting. The only moment is now. The now moment we're doing it. And again, when you merge into the center point and become the unified field, you literally exist out of time, because time is polarized. That's how we move through time, right? This polarization of energies. When you unify into the center and you come from the center of every dimension, really all dimensions merge into one, right? You become a Stargate. You become the 0 point, which means there's no time. You're out of time, literally. So again, it's hard to explain. This is something for you to experience, for sure. But yeah, whatever was storm, so again, this happens a lot when I do my grid work, is massive lightning, storm starting, sometimes just really weird stuff can happen with the weather. When I do reconnect something or open up a crystal seal or open up a gate or clear things. So again, I still have my video coming up sometime about all my 6 or so weeks when I was in the Rocky Mountains in Alberta, in Calgary, and all the different grid work that I did that I want to show you guys. So again, hit that bell if you haven't already and subscribe. Okay, so knowing that it's a time of up-leveling, it's all about you letting go of things that are pulling you out of your ability to be centered. Because it really is about being centered and grounded right now. It's very easy to get flung around in the chaos. Remember, the chaos is like an antichrist, anti-life force. Unifying force is that unity consciousness that we're evolving into. And it's happening with everyone. So know that's not just, the split of the different types of Earth, the different versions of Earth. It's all happening right here. It's just certain people will be on a certain bandwidth of frequency. That is, for example, separation consciousness, where they exist in fear, anger, victimhood, right? The problem's always out there, and they're always trying to fix the problem out here. But if you realize, then this is the key. When you unify yourself, all the problems that you've been trying to fix, whether it's relationship problems, whether it's money problems, this and that, they magically dissolve themselves. Or they might need some action on your part, but you'll know that. But that's why it's about fixing yourself, getting into the center of that creation. And you will either come up with way better solutions to your circumstances. You will have a different mindset. You will get motivated. You will want to make that change. When you're able to unify yourself, the big problems that are everywhere start to dissolve themselves. People, all of a sudden, you start dealing with people at a higher level, at a higher consciousness level. You start literally, instead of dealing with, say, a person's 3D aspect, when you activate and move into a higher consciousness, you can start communicating or dealing with the person at their 5th dimensional aspect, or maybe higher, right? Because again, we're going way beyond 5D. But yeah, know that if your problem, or if your life is blowing up, well, number one, it could be that you're meant to release so much right now and move inward to elevate to a higher level, because that's what Ascension is. We're not waiting for something out here to be fixed. We're moving into the unified field, unifying everything. And things that we can't unify, we let go of. We let go and we let God, really, right? Because we can try to fix everything out there. That's exhausting. Trust me, I did that my whole life. I micromanage everything, right? But yeah, understanding that it's all about you unifying, and things out there will start dissolving, or they will start working themselves out. when you go into center point. That is the absolute key. Now, how do I know this? Because I've been there. Everything I'm telling you guys, I'm just talking to myself. Remember, everything's you. So I'm kind of talking to you guys as in like I'm reprogramming my old self that didn't know these things, right? Yeah, let me get back to now my activation in 2017 that was mind-blowing. Do you feel that, just that excitement for life that we are underway right now? Yes, it's chaos. Yes, it's scary. Change is scary, but you know that you're stepping into a brand new life. During this 1111 portal, go inward, clear the decks for yourself, clear the decks for your life by taking that action. You can learn more in my November energy update where I talk about signs that you quantum jump timelines. Now, I feel the call to do grid work and gatekeeping all over the planet. I feel just that I need to keep moving right now. We have so many people that need the help, need the support, and I would love to recode the areas. So if you'd like to support me on all the work that I do to try to elevate this planet into the highest timeline possible, then please support me by making a donation. I'll put the link below in the description. And if you want to take my course Ascension Magic for a lot more info, that I have hundreds of different topics where I talk about lots of different stuff, mind-blowing stuff to try to help you out with many different tips and methods. So that's on my website, EARTH1111.com. I'll put the link below in the description. So please share the video and comment what's going on in your life to help others. And I hope I earned a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Like I said, I have lots of videos coming up. They're going to be absolutely mind-blowing. And don't forget to hit that bell as well so you know when I make new videos. I'm Roxanne. I love you so much. Happy 11/11 DNA activations. Bye-bye.